I am doing fantastic. Very excited. Very excited to do this tonight. So far from what I've heard, this has been a very tough fight. So I'm very excited to see how these matches turn out.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Sorry, my mic was probably having some technical difficulties, but I'm Ninjix. This is Dragon. We are here in the Call of Duty Top 8. We have Conestoga Gold against York U in the Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition matches. And as you heard, I am doing good as well. Right now, the players are getting to lobbies. But first question, Dragon, I want to see, who do you think is going to be taking this?
Um, Honestly, it can go either way because from what I've seen from the other matches, like I casted Overwatch on Monday, it was neck and neck the whole way through. I could never figure out who was going to win. It can go either way. It's going to come down to, personally, I think the maps and who can utilize the angles on said maps. Like, for example, I know we have for one of our maps, Invasion. That's a very open map. But for Search and Destroy, it can be played either way. You need to have a good offense, you got to have a good defense. Just it's a matter of which team can utilize that better.
Yeah, and in terms of the map pool, we have map 1 in 6-star actually. Map 2 is going to be in Invasion, 3 Invasion, and then we got a double Rio if it comes to that, obviously. But we
Rio's
never
a fun
knew.
map.
We have some mixed feelings about Rio, me personally, but honestly, we don't know how that's going to go. I'm really expecting big things from both these teams. These teams are amazing skill-wise. We know how they take the points. We know what angles, and especially their teamwork there. In terms of what counters, like, how do you think they're going to be countering on 6-star?
Well, with the game mode being hardpoint, it's gonna be a matter of can they utilize the angles. Because I will say personally, I don't know much about 6-star. It's a map I'm not known well, but from what I can see, especially based off the profile and the photo for it, very close, tight knit map. So we can see close quarters, dangers, maybe trying to utilize again holding angles. And given what weapons we're going to be seeing, as long as they can utilize the close coordinates of this map, that can determine who controls these hard points and brings home the first game.
Yeah, and it's a pretty, to my understanding, it's pretty of a medium map as well. We don't medium in terms of not a lot of long angles, not a lot of close. So it's going to be interesting some of the rotations that's going to happen from both teams, how they're specifically going to be adapting to what each team have, because we know Conestoga, they're a madhouse, especially when it comes to Call of Duty. But so is York, sorry. Uh, it's going to be
Oh
very
yeah, they're
interesting.
both going
I'm
to
really
be
excited
very
on
interesting.
how. Yeah, really excited to see how they're going to be adapting. My big thing is the adaptability on these teams. As we on our previous tournaments, we had Overwatch, a huge game of adaptability, and also League of Legends as well. Something that's very different when it comes to COD. COD's adaptability is knowing the rotations, the utilization you have on your utility, and the specific angles you got to cover. Sometimes those flanks can come out of nowhere.
They definitely can. I just took a moment. I just looked up what the map looks like. Yeah, very close quarters, a lot of buildings, a lot of urban heavy environments. So Conestoga or York is going to have to figure out if they can gain advantage by covering those angles. There's some good flanking areas, heavy corner usage. So even if someone just takes a grenade and manages to hit it off a wall and into another corner, that might put a player on either team at risk to get hit with a very rogue frag grenade.
Yeah, very. And we're just going to be introducing a little bit of our ad that is sponsoring us for today as well. TELUS, TELUS Arena, if you guys don't know, is the best place for Canadian games and players to play, improve their skills through free coaching or from the pros. You can compete to win thousands of dollars in prizes, whether you're a casual gamer or looking to learn. We can win monthly events, variety of gamers. There's always something going on. So make sure to join the TELUS Arena Discord. Will most likely be posted on the Twitch chat. So definitely to look up on the Twitch chat down below there. And you'll be able to see some cool things that TELUS hosting. The Discord is open to play. And you never know. You could be just that person that makes it to the top. But for now, we're just waiting for our gamers to get into the lobby, having some technical difficulties. But in terms of the next map coming up, if 6-star goes in the way that we anticipated, how is Invasion gonna be? It could be the deciding map.
Invasion, since it's for both games, it can be a decider because Invasion, unlike 6 stars, there's the middle map area, which is it's just a stretch of road. And if you have, so say for example on Conestoga, if one of their players ends up being a marksman, if they can hold a particular corner, they have full coverage from Conestoga spawn all the way to York spawn. And if anyone decides to try and take that middle road, they have a potential of being picked off instantly. And for search and destroy, since it's a single life map, you risk your life taking that middle road. It's a
Yeah,
very open map. It's very dangerous.
yeah, it's very, very interesting to see, and especially with the loadouts that are coming up in terms of in terms of how they're going to be adapting. Because obviously, some people may even go 3 subs in one AR. It just depends on the map right now. I know some pick rates are a little bit out of the norm in current, right? I know some S tiers right now are going as the MCW. You know, you have the MTZ as well, but you could also have the Ram 9 just kind of dominating it as well. In terms of whatever is actually going to be played, I'm very interested to see how these players try to counter the loadouts that they're going to be bringing against each other. What kind of guns are they going to be going up against? What kind of situations are they going to have to force? Are they going to have to really, really adapt to the long range capabilities that the ARs are going to be able to that the AR players are going to be able to actually take the space and be able to lock down to the lack of no rotations? Or will they just be front barraged by some machine guns consistently while ARs just do some little backdrops? It's very, very dependent at this case.
It definitely is. My counter to that, no pun intended, to counter long range ARs, you need to have a sub who's really good at getting behind an enemy line and flanking. You get one person with a submachine gun to hit them on their blind spot, they can become a problem instantly.
It is very, very. I don't know. I don't know if weird is the right term, but we never know what could actually be the situation for this case scenario at all.
There
I
are some unorthodox plays, like I know they're probably not really seen in the competitive site, but I would appreciate seeing a sniper rifle be brought out. Because if you get a good angle, especially with a high powered rifle with a scope, you can turn the tide with a single bullet.
you could. It honestly goes down to the last singular bullet of each times. But for now, right now, it looks like the players are still having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're just waiting on one team. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back in just a moment. But we will be back with Conestoga Gold versus York U in the Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition. We'll see you soon.
When I first heard about the TELUS esports series, I was like, there's no way.
I was absolutely stoked. You don't really hear about esports at all in Canada, let alone from a big company like TELUS.
Canada does have a scene, and we do have people who are thriving towards getting us into that bigger picture.
2 versus 1, and it should be their game. The Bronze Bonobos from second, now finally find first.
Simply put, the TELUS Esports Series is esports for everyone. It's our take of what we think the esports industry should look like and where we think it should go. It's way more fun to compete for something when there's something on the line. And the TELUS Esports Series gives players of all skill levels opportunities to experience that. We really want to make the gaming experience more fun for everyone, and we want to help the gaming industry evolve and grow the way that it should. And I think the time is right for it.
And we are back from the little break here, and we are here with Conestoga against York U Esports on map 1, 6 stars. It is going to be a absolute wild. But first of all, we know exactly what's going to happen in terms of where it's going to happen, because 6 star did have an actual rework. All hills were reworked on part of how it's going to be going. But you never know.
Yeah, and it just ended up in a draw. I just watched the entire team just light each other up.
We don't know what's going on. It's okay. Some things like this happen, but it's a sign that something could be fixed. But just as I was saying before, 6 star did get a rework. All hills have been changed except for P1. So it could be a difference on how things are going to be balanced. They're a little bit higher or a little bit lower, but that means these players are not actually as experienced in how to attack this site, how they're going to be able to defend, how they're going to be able to adjust into where the rotations are coming. So it's going to be very interesting on the adaptability, and I'm curious on what you think on how they're going to solve that dragon.
I think it's going to come down to just trial by fire, complete trial by fire. Because when map reworks happen, sometimes a minor rework can be adapted more, but if they're major reworks such as this, it completely throws a wrench in a lot of player strategies if they've already utilized and kind of gotten knowledge of that map. Major reworks just throws a wrench in your entire process on approaching that map. So it's just going to come down to a trial by fire mental method for 6 star.
Yeah, and York did actually beat Conestoga 2-0 the previous time they played. So it's going to be, I'm mainly going to have my eyes on Conestoga, definitely. We're going to be able to see how or what they may be doing to plan ahead. Maybe they scrimmed a lot just specifically for this map pool. Maybe the map pool went in favor in terms of bans and how it's actually going to be played. We don't know.
That is true. We might see a huge comeback from Conestoga.
Exactly. We might see some actual difference in plays on what they're specifically going to be doing going into this map at all. And I don't know. I'm kind of, at this point, I might want to be rooting for the underdog. Sometimes the underdog may comes back out of nowhere.
That is true. And Conestoga is, both of these teams are absolutely ruthless. And I believe tonight, just like the previous games they played in, they're going to give no quarter and show no mercy. But I am very intrigued, given that we know that Conestoga has lost to York before. Do they have a counter strategy that potentially can bring them back for the comeback? So I'm right on the same bandwagon with you. I think rooting for the underdogs here is going to be a fun bet.
It is definitely really fun, and what it looks like, it's seeming that they do have 2 ARs. I think there's the 3rd AR as well. So maybe that the loadout that York U is actually coming up might be a little bit different in terms of what's going on. They do have 1 sub, so it might be a little bit of a slower play too. For how fast-paced COD is and what the direction that they take the flow of the game, we could actually expect somewhat of a slower push or slower maintenance in towards of how to adapt for the other team. How do you think the Conestoga is going to go against that?
I think, again, it's going to be a matter of, can they secure map dominance? Because even though 6 star on hardpoint, the points, I'm looking at the map here, like, for example, P5, that's a very open area on the far right end of the map. It's going to come down to who can hold long-range capability and suppress the other team. And then for a point like P1 dead center or P3, which is near Team 2's spawn, can they hold the corner angles? Every single one of these hard points have an angle or a range that needs to be secured and gain superiority over. So as long as Conestoga can gain superiority on these objectives, they have a shot at beating York in game 1. But same goes for York.
And usually it's 2 ARs, 2 subs on this map as well. So we're going to be able to see, as we load into the map here, we're going to be able to see what these players have been cooking in the kitchen and what kind of scrims they will be able to pull out. And maybe we'll see some something under their sleeves, maybe an ace and a half. But it's definitely going to be a very, very big game coming up. And to start off the top ace, we have York U going up against Conestoga Gold. Absolutely mad teams.
And heading into the game now, starting, it's on with the first point being right in the center of the map. York University leading the charge with Havoc using it's very cowboy-esque. Everyone using a sidearm right now, but Havoc with first blood getting a nice headshot onto a member of Conestoga Gold, getting another kill. Kills going in the way of York, and they have secured the point. However, Conestoga is slowly creeping up with them.
Yeah, York does seem that they had done their homework to see where these players are coming from both sides. York being able to take, but we have the flank from Sharko, able to catch 2, and a third from Frizzy, able to reclaim the point in a quick manner. Don't count this team yet, because J-Ray is going to be able to get a 4th with Frizzy on the back, and that's a complete wipe in terms of Condors. Going to be able to retake the point and get some points on the board for them, taking the lead.
Yeah, and then Havoc getting the revenge onto J-Ray. Conestoga holding this bar like it's their own. LD getting a nice double kill, pushing through. Doesn't decide to disable the trophy system, surprisingly.
No, able to actually abide swimmingly. LD trying to see, but barely miss the York teammate there. Havoc going to be able to cover the rotate and be able to catch J-Ray on the other. Havoc with the double kill, but York Sharko able to close it out and shut him down. But it's going to be the next hard point. York taking first top on that. Going to be see if they can take the lead by a couple points now. We're going to see LD and Ob be able to catch the rotates, but Dreamo's not going to go without a fight, but does get taken down by Havoc smoothly.
J-Ray with some decent exchange to fire manages to find JD and Havoc, but then Op manages to find J-Ray, but then Shaco manages to find Op, and LD finds Frizzy, 6 finds Shaco, LD finds Dreamo, and it's just back and forth on this kill feed here.
Dead Silence activating, trying to see if he can go for a sneaky rotate cover and see if he can catch them on the blind side. Gets J-Ray. Almost gets...
Doesn't manage to get Frizzy.
Absolute insane. We're definitely going to see York taking and holding these corners up so well, but we're going to see both players from Condor going double hand on this hallway, and it's going to be continuing on in their triumph, being able to finally get some points on the board and claiming these corners, not leaving any room for improvement from York. But it goes without saying, going down without a fight is LD down to Dreamo, but Frizzy shuts down Havoc and almost shuts down, but LD wins that fight.
Ray with a nice double kill, and this goes back to what I was saying before the stream. Holding these corners is going to determine who secures superiority on these hard points.
Yeah, and it seems like Condor is going to be able to finally get almost barely the lead, but not if it not be left up to Havoc to be able to clean up with Op and LD falling straight behind. Dreamo just capturing the leg there, but able to cover his own back as well, leaving the point just unmanned. But it's 2 seconds left, trying to get as many points as they can, but we already have the side of Condors claiming next point there. And it's going to be them trying to see if they can win that, and they do. Absolutely insane.
Taking a nice dip in the pool, does get taken out by J-Ray. Frizzy taking out LD, and Conestoga manages to hold the point, but now we have Silks in the pool, just getting some nice kills while getting a nice soak down.
Yeah, being able to cool off the heat of their guns in the pool, seeing what is specifically happening on how they're going to be able to retake it. Condor's trying to see if they can find a Semtex onto the person that's hiding behind that circle, but does get taken out from the back, and York is looking pretty nice on this. It's just an advantageous position and keeping their rotates absolutely unmanned from the side of Condors.
Definitely. Now with Silks on a 5 kill streak right now, just as managing to hold out this point. York has 85 points and increasing, and they've already sacrificed it heading on to the next point, which is being held by Conestoga Gold. So now York needs to find a way to break through Conestoga's defense on this point.
It looks like LD is trying to see if he can find some opportunity, but Op comes in able to pinch a Shaco on the rotate there. They are able to force these players out, making a swift push on the right side of the point there, but not if it has to leave up to the teammates of Condor, able to cover the fallen teammates there. Going to see Havoc be able to pick up one onto Ray. Closely, Flash goes out with Semtex, damaging there. Condor's in a struggling position with all these utility coming out, and to be able to pick up the kills and take the point smoothly.
What's the team wipe on top of that? York just showed no mercy clearing out that room, and then Dreamo just lights up Opt like there was nothing tomorrow.
Yeah, catching him on the flank is going to be huge, especially now with this next point coming up in 6 seconds. We're going to see J-Ray able to escape that kill with Frizzy on the back on the other side of the map too. Insane plays coming and catching these rotates is going to give them the lead on this point and the lead of the match as well.
And the thing is, it's 108 to 116 and increasing. York does still have a plethora of opportunities to recover this. It's still anyone's game at this point. I'm very intrigued to see who's going to take this one home.
The trades coming up from Opto and Dreamo. Havoc and Slick's able to pick up 2, and now that 3rd as well, and that's them taking the point swiftly, being able to win their gunfights on the corner, especially on main. But we're going to see 2 double teammates coming out, not if it's Havoc's up to. Sharko does get to take the claim, but it's going to leave him only to push that, and not safe as well. LD picks up Jay on the other side and be able to continue main. Slick's coming from the back, able to completely wipe, and we're going to see him going for an insane flank. Trophy system is there, almost kips up Dreamo, but he gets him with the Renetti.
Those Renettis are brutal. I can definitely see why they are the go-to sidearm for many a COD player.
Yeah, we're going to see J-Ray able to clean up the flank, not leaving any sort of time for them to take a rotate. They do have the point, but no one on the point itself. And we're going to see Frizzy and Shaco able to see if they can get someone there. And we do. Shaco able to get some points on the board. They will be taking point right now, except J-Ray is going to be able to take Havoc instead. And we're going to see them finally taking the lead for this round as well. 37 remaining. Kill streaks coming up. Slicks is going to be able to deny, and that's going to put them in an awkward spot with a full frontal of team of York coming from the bottom side, and they will be taking point on themselves as well.
And that cruise missile, it did manage to kill Shaco, which that one missile would have also disturbed the remainder of Conestoga's team. And now Havoc getting a nice double kill. What's Frizzy up to? Number 5, all the way on the far end of the map. Probably getting prepped and ready for the next hard point, as Conestoga is. You can see on the map there. Conestoga is holding that point. York managed to get it for a little bit, but everyone is already scrambling for the next point as soon as it unlocks. And now we're here for the next firefight on the next point.
And if it wasn't for Opt able to get that kill onto Frizzy, it wouldn't let them having that point. But it's going to see the retake is going smoothly for Condors, even though Opt has an AR and picks up double. That's going to provide a beneficial opportunity for York to be able to take off main. Not if Condors have something to say about it. Jay stops that momentum a little bit. Slipstuff does pick up him though, but it's still done with the point and somewhat of the lead. 3 points off the board, and now it's tied once again.
Yeah, now some brief exchanges of fire, not enough to get kills, but Shaco managed to find a kill and pulling out the sidearm, but not enough to get that second as he does get taken out. Dreamo in a small exchange of fire, heavily wounded. Mind you, Frizzy just watching a nice angle. Maybe someone from York might get into his crosshairs. One does, but Frizzy manages to avenge by taking out Hawk. And then Silk's taking out Dreamo, Havoc taking out J-Ray, LD taking out Frizzy. York is just making sure they are taking names and taking points.
These rotates that York is able to counter onto Condors is giving them the advantageous push every single time these swaps happen or these hardpoint switch. They're able to get to these rotates faster than Condor, and whether it's a speed or whether it's a mentality thing, they are able to get these points and keep themselves always tied, never a couple points behind, and that's exactly the situation now. 31 seconds remaining on this side of the hardpoint. Time is paused in main time, and they're going to be taking the lead just now, but actually it's tied. Not if Slicks has something to say about it. There have to have him stick it a little bit while the rest of the team tries to cut the rotates once again.
Yeah, now York is at 200. They just need 50 more points in order to take a victory with Conestoga at 190. Frizzy in the bush doesn't manage to get the double kill as Op was just too fast for that trigger.
But he does find the one, and that's gonna give York a little bit of an give Condors a little bit of an edge to take this position. And as they force out the rotate from York, taking a little bit of a page of their own handbook, it's gonna give them the advantageous push. But Sharko catching the rotate on behind as well leaves them in a comfortable position to be able to hold this point and catch up to the lead once again.
With points now going in favor of Conestoga, they are only 6 points away from tying this up. And it's going to be close. Dreamo gets Havoc, and Dreamo also gets Silks with a nice double. J-Ray holding that kitchen. He might cook something. We don't know. Dreamo takes out Soaks, Frizzy taking out LD, and then Opt and Hawk together both got a nice double kill on 2 members of Conestoga.
And nice switching positions from J-Ray, covering every single angle he needs to, and trusting his teammates as they both pick up 2. Being able to just completely negate any sort of push on this site, and that's going to be dumb, taking the advantageous lead and putting them in a comfortable position, only 13 points away from map 1. And it's going to be York struggling to find where to capture these players on the corners, while New Point in a very open site, one that they did win previously, they're going to be struggling to see if they can catch the rotate. Not if Slicks and LD have something to answer for it. Do capture both those kills and take the point for themselves now.
Now they're holding these angles. Everyone, we have multiple trophy systems active on that bar. But Frizzy in the flank gets the double, does not get the triple, but it does give Condors the position needed to push this point. Frizzy's sacrifice was not in vain.
5 points remaining, 1 off, and it's going to be map 1 going to Condors Gold. Absolutely
that was
amazing.
Insane. That flank alone was what determined that match. Frizzy's flank just sealed. That was the game-winning strategy that Conestoga needed to get those final bits of that point.
Yeah, definitely an amazing gameplay from specifically Frizzy, able to continue and hold the point absolutely down. If you're noticing before, York was keeping Condors at bay, catching the rotates and seeing where they were coming from specifically, especially onto point 2 there on the main side near pool. They just kept on funneling in like rats to a trap. They just did not know how to capture these angles, and they didn't have a lot of trophies up there too. They had those utilities, but it doesn't seem like they were using to the fullest. And did cost them a lot, but towards the end there, they adapted really, really well. As I said before, it's gonna be an adaptability game, especially when York did beat them as well in the past. We're gonna be able to see how this team now adapts to Condor's new edge to see what they're gonna be doing, because now we're going up to S&D on I have a little bit of a tongue twister. On Invasion.
So good.
On Invasion.
And this is going to be a unique fight, especially with Conestoga. So here's the thing with Search and Destroy and Invasion. It's a very defender bias map. You are more likely to win on the defending side than you are attacking. So already I'm just going to put my money here that Conestoga does have the potential to win solely because of their spawn advantage.
Yeah, it's eventually going to be interesting. It would just sound like a broken record, but adaptability, because we don't know how these players are going to be able to take these lanes and specifically be able to capture this on the. We do have Havoc with Bomb waiting to see if they're going to be looking for a little bit of an A push. See coming into the side there, trying to clear lanes as much as possible.
Up to
Shaco's sneaky. He's sneaky.
He's Batman.
He's sneaky. He knows he's expecting the A push and call it as red, and definitely the cues heard, and he's gonna be taking the first blood onto Slicks, capturing through the window there, and Shake will be able to capture 2 when it's such an advantageous position. That's gonna be 2 down already for the side of York, not knowing where these positions are gonna be specifically. But Frizzy is gonna be able to catch up on the rotate to see if he can assist his teammate. It's gonna be Havoc on his own, does pick up 1. Don't know if he knows that Dreamo was waiting for him right then and there, but it catches him on the rotate, and now it's going to be a 1v1 situation. Only 13 seconds left remaining on this point. He's going to be going for B instead, causing J-Ray to rotate. So we're going to be seeing what he can do. If he can see B, and he does. And that's going to be round 1 to Condors.
Yeah, he just got those bullet into the unfortunately his Achilles heel, but Havoc did put up a good fight, managing to hold his own. But it did come down to those first bits of kills, like Shaco getting that 2 kills towards that 1. That 2 death advantage for Condors already had a good point to seal the deal there. Havoc did hold his own though. I was impressed. Now we
Yeah.
get to see with York on the defense, because as the rounds switch up, can York utilize what Condor did and get a win out of that? Especially if Opt is going to utilize that highway angle. That's the angle I was talking about. If anyone can just poke their head, there we go with an exchange of fire
Ooh.
into Shaco with some wounds, not enough to get a kill though. But you can see what I mean. But Frizzy getting first blow into Havoc with a nice submachine gun light up in the storage room.
The call out is made, only claims himself. Almost catching off the long shot there. J-Ray does put down Slicks finally. And it's going to be LD to see if he can make a comeback for his teammate. That's going to put one man down the board. But Dreamo able to catch LD on the rotate instead. And it's going to be Op, the only man on York, to defend for himself. As they are just trying to play from their spawn to the best they can. The Condors take the second round very swiftly.
That was a very swift one, and especially they cornered Opt right in his spawn. You can see here Frizzy with the nice flank and the light up goes on top of the truck and just lights him up.
Absolutely amazing stuff. As we do have the teams switching side, we're going to be able to see what Condors are going to have in store to go up against the defender side of map, like you said, of we're going to see what York has in store to go up against the defender side of map that that this team is.
Yeah, it's the reason why I was saying before that, like, Invasion is an okay map, but it does, based on how it's structured in the spawns, it's a very defender bias map. If you start on defender, you have a more likely chance of victory.
Yeah, definitely to see what they're going to be doing. We're going to see Sharko be able to contain and Sharko and J-Ray containing A to the best of their full. Expecting that push, but we're going to be able to see Frizzy take the first blood as Slicks over pushes just a tiny bit. Expecting someone on the line and he gets the headshot onto Op. Havoc picking up Frizzy though, shutting him down and not let anything else slip by them. That's going to be a rough start, seeing if they go to push the A, see if they can try to find a rotate, and Sharko is already expecting that immediately. They're going to see if they look for an angle on that side too. They do spot out Dreamo, see what they can utilize from there. But it's going to be Havoc with bomb, struggling to see what they can use to get onto this B site bomb. Though to call it is remain and telling this LD, I got to push up, see if you can cover my back as best as your ability. But he has J-Ray on the flank, right behind, spots out LD, does get the headshot. J-Ray picks up LD, and then now it's just Havoc left alone. Bunch of utility on him, and they do claim the kill, finishing the round.
He just threw like 2 flashbangs and 3 Semtex at this poor guy. Poor Havoc.
Yeah. Round 3 going to Condor Gold, allowing them to pick up for the side, and it was just a utility mayhem. They knew exactly where he was and was not going to leave that away at all.
Nope, and now once again with the side switch, York back on defense. Maybe along. I'm curious as to what comms are going through York right now. They're trying to figure out. Are they going to try and prioritize just defending the locations, try to wipe out as many of Condor's players as possible before heading to defense? And a team kill by J-Ray take out Frizzy. Was that on purpose or by accident?
That is not the way you want to start your attacking round specifically, and that's a team kill coming from J-Way. It might be a miscommunication from the call-out, spotting up possibly Op there on the rotate. He does not see him, actually. Op does, and it's going to be J-Ray coming out, and that's already 2 players down for the count for the side of Condors, and it's going to be Dreamo to be able to take the reconnaissance and take up LD, but Slicks gets the refrag swiftly, and the last player with an advantage on tank. It's going to be York taking round 1.
I just have a question. Was Palpatine in the chat? Did he just, like, get in their head with Order 66? Like,
And
out of
listen,
nowhere, just a team kill.
we don't know what kind of stormtroopers are on the field right now, but that is exactly what could happen. Because
I'm just going to say Palpatine was in chat.
possibly. We don't know. Darth Vader was probably the one controlling the whole operation, too. But I'm really curious to see how what the call out was there to lead to that team kill. Maybe he saw him on the rotate exponentially, and we're already getting shots taken to Slicks. Definitely escaping with his life barely, and a quick rotate from Frizzy, trying to see if he can get someone from behind. Almost gets Slicks. does spawn him out pretty quickly, but that's going to be Frizzy going down for the count, and that's going to be a huge push from the side of York, because we're going to be looking for a bomb B take. We're going to see LD trying to see if we can get the 1v1 and does win it, and that's going to be 2 down for the side of Condors. They do pick up 1, but not with a trade as well, and Slicks does finish Dreamo out, and that's going to give them the opportunity to be able to play on an A rotate. LD does trying his best to get this as much as possible, but Jerry is just forced out as much as he is. Semtex go away, and reload is not going to happen, especially when you have limited space to work with, and that Semtex didn't help, and that's going to be round 5 for the side of York.
That Semtex even stuck him. Check on the kill cam. Right on the elbow, or on the wrist there. Boom. He's gone.
What a throw. Yeah, York are definitely picking up on these, definitely pick up on where these players are going to be hiding. It looks like they know the map well, really well, more side than the side of Condor, especially on the defender side. We know it's a defender side or map, but it looks like they're using that a little bit more to their position, feeling more dominant here than anything. Not be able to pick up or win their gunfights on either rotate or the lane, and exactly so. Slick's getting a little bit too hungry. Do end up finding 2 and gets taken down, and it's going to put them in a man deficit as they go for this 8 push. Semtex does get onto the pole, a little bit of a miss. Semtex not going to put him really hurt as Op and Havoc try to see if they can push that. J-Ray picks up LD while Op gets the refrag onto Frizzy with Havoc onto Traco, and it's a double kill for the side of Havoc, 2 with the Renality, and that's going to put them in a very
situation.
That's going to put them in a very comfortable position. They do not have bomb, but it's going to be a rotate coming from them as well. They are on bomb as well, and look at that trophy system to help. It's going to be very hard for J-Ray to push this, and a crossfire goes on. It's going to be York picking up once again, 3-3.
And tying it up, York with the comeback. Are we going to see a comeback play coming in from York?
It's a very, very possible 6 rounds to take the win. And we're going to see what kind of adaptability they're going to have for the side of York as they switch sides once again. Going to be attacking. And don't know what it's going to be going for their side. What's the game plan? Because they were struggling on to actually getting... They had the angles, they had the lane coverage, especially on the ARs, but it did seem on... They were struggling on specifically how to push on the site. J-Ray already on the highway position, getting a couple shots onto Havoc. And now
Shaco already, there's just a barrier between Havoc. Was that a flash? That was a Semtex. Okay. Heavily wounded, gonna push him. Mismanages. Do they manage to get it? Yes, they do.
No.
Managing to save his teammate's life, taking out Shaco, and they're holding that high ground position. Frizzy near the bulldozer might be able to light them up, but smoke is going out. Unfortunately, does miss all these shots.
And the defense is putting it up to the test. Frizzy does know that Sharko went on a rotate, able to cover his back, but it's going to be Slicks picking up Dreamo with Frizzy on the LD. Does get the refrag from Havoc, though. And it's going to be a 3-1 situation as York does claim that, and it's swiftly done, taken, covering their own teammates behind. Good call-outs from the side of York.
Very good call-outs, and also good composition of like sticking with your teammate, because that first fight could have gone a completely different direction if Op wasn't there.
Very, very much so. And if we switch sides once again, we're going to be seeing them now on defending your side, and definitely could close this out. It is very, very possible to give them the first map as well.
And well, now we're going to see Shaco with the bomb. Op taking the highway position. LD and at least 2 other members are going to try and hold this midpoint, but it seems it's going to be a full push onto B. The entire team sticking together, everyone pushing B while York is defending A. It's going to be a full rotation of this map.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the rotate plan here. We have Sharko gonna be he's gonna be seeing if they can find a flank option maybe. They do have A pretty covered, but they don't know that a lot of people are not on B actually. They have Havoc trying to cover the lane along with Slicks up there right behind him, but not actually covering where this plan is gonna be going down. We're gonna be seeing Slicks trying to see if he can go for a dive and do win that as well. Frizzy falls down, and that's gonna leave some insecurity for Condors to actually get this plant down. Really, really good rotations from the side of York, and that's going to put them at a time advantage.
Yeah, J-Ray does manage to do a long flank and take out LD, which is now prioritizing a member of York who's opt is going to try and meet J-Ray. Semtex going out, doesn't manage to find any foot, but then Havoc manages to take out J-Ray, once again saving opt. If there's going to be one, there's going to be another just watching. And York with another win. York just needs one more round, and they take game 2 home.
Absolutely insanity from the side of York, covering every single angle. They didn't have a lot of bodies on A as well, and as match point ensues, I'm very, very, very impressed with the way that York was able to cover themselves in terms of the rotate and be able to win those 1v1 gunfight. If it wasn't for Slicks, that game could have played out very, very differently because he had a very, very good spot, having the whole side to himself. Dreamo taking a couple kabot shots onto the side of the spawn of attacking. And we're going to see a trophy system go behind to support his teammate that is sitting behind there. J-Ray and Shaco are waiting for a B push, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to be looking for A once again. Shots heard on that side, but Havoc is going to be able to use his score streak and pick up J-Ray, and that's going to give them a very advantageous position. Sharko looking to claim the kill on Havoc, but Kala was made quickly and be able to kick a couple shots with his teammate and him finishing the kill.
And now with Conestoga on the backboard, with only 2 members left, potentially 1, depending on how this firefight goes. Some brief exchange of fire. Frizzy manages to kill Havoc, ending his 7-kill streak. Ott gets 1, but Frizzy gets the other. It's now down to LD and Slick. Frizzy on the tank, gets lit up, being blasted like a skeet shooter onto a dumpster and onto the floor. York University takes game 2.
Absolutely insane cause, and that was really well played from Conestoga as well, being able to adapt to where these players were rotating, especially behind them. But Slicks able to LD able to just keenly call out where these players could have been, would have been, and should have been.
And it honestly came down. I am very impressed with the comeback that York just did. That was absolutely a 10 out of 10 play.
Yeah, very, very well done for the side of York. As we go in here, we're going to be going to an invasion once again, and it's going to be playing out a little bit differently. So definitely curious on how these teams adapt to what's going to be happening as well, because now it's what's 1-1. We're going to be going the
and
mile.
also with Invasion on Control, so Control plays a little bit differently. You have 30 lives instead of your initial just 1 life. You got to hold 2 points. So usually it can come down to who can maintain a good life economy for their team. And as long as Palpatine doesn't intervene again, we might see some pretty good firefights.
Yeah, we might see them soon as well. As we go back to Invasion, as you said, Control, it's a very, very awkward situation, I guess. Those lives can put the pressure on this team, especially when they're trying to adapt to where these players are coming from. Control is not as hardpoint where you can just willy-nilly. You got to expend your resources in stretch thin on how specifically you're going to be able to attack these points for the length of the match.
It's true. And also, there are some strategies that you can use in Control, particularly with you can communicate with your team like, okay, we have 30 lives. We can sacrifice maybe 10 of them to do more aggressive, more unorthodox plays because you do have some leeway. If you have a stronger life economy, that allows you to be a bit more aggressive, yet it does come with a risk. It's always a gamble in those types of situations.
Yeah, a very, very big gamble as well. Definitely going to be to see on how Conestoga adapt, because they look strong on these hardpoint as well. They look very, very strong on it, catching where these players were rotating. But I feel like their main strong suit was being able to just lock down the sectors. As long as they have their players where they need to be, they're very, very, very good at closing down these lanes. Seems like where they are struggling with is specifically on what to be able to actually, or how to be able to actually push these points. As we go into the game, we have the players ready, 7 seconds counting down. We're going to see how these players go and attack these points with only 30 lives in their bank.
And now we're going to see, are we going to see some long-range exchanges? J-Ray does bring out a Semtex, manages to hit with the flash, but unfortunately with that perk streak, it does allow for some more defense to shake it off a bit. Havoc just finds J-Ray, Frizzy and Shaco find Silks and LD. Ott finds Dreamo, just hiding down that tank. Does manage to take out Shaco as well, with Shaco take out Havoc. Already the life economy is 25 for York, 27 for Conestoga. But those lives are slowly going to be decreasing, and York almost has control of B. They are very, very close. Conestoga is now taking it back. They might be able to. It's either way, but right now it looks like by now with the contesting, York has taken point B. Everyone now just has to prioritize taking point A, but everyone currently is firefighting. LD in the convenience store gets blasted by Shaco. Havoc takes out Frizzy. Ott with a nice high ground gets some pot shots taken at him. He is wounded, but not enough to get a kill. Shaco with another light up from Havoc. Silk taking out Shaco, and it's just already life economy is 21 to 22.
That's an early capture by York, able to nicely deny any sort of momentum through the attacks. They were leading on kills, but they just could not push on. It seems like they really are struggling to see how they can how they would be able to attack this point, and it seems they are doing so now, not catching these players on the rotate. They're just able to lock down the sector, but they're struggling to find out and adapt where they are coming from and how to deal with them.
Yeah, and Dreamo managing to find a double, taking out Silks mid-reload and then taking out Havoc. Frizzy and all of Conestoga are trying to hold this point. And maybe York is going to find a way to figure an offense. Ott manages to take out Dreamo. J-Ray takes out Silks. Havoc takes out J-Ray. LD takes out Frizzy. LD takes out Shaco.
Double
and
kill.
it's just back and forth.
Double kill from LD gives them the advantage on the point. Semtex come out trying to see if he can force them. Dreamo is stunned and does spot out Havoc. Almost gets him. J-Ray is able to get the continuous frag on there, but Opt able to just continually hold this point. And this point is a hard one to attack if you don't have a frontal defense covering the main lanes. Just such a long lane, and that's why you usually bring 4 ARs into this map, and it's going to give them win. Really nicely done for the side of York.
Yeah, York takes a good first round for this. Silk's getting the final kill. A nice long shot light up with explosions going off all around him.
Yeah, as we switch sides, see what maybe the spawns will be a little bit advantageous. As S&D, it was a defender side of map for them, but it might be so now in terms of the where they can contain for B. Might be they will be able to come to get the point faster, so we can see the map going, but it looks like they're both going for an A more so to be able to claim this more than ever.
And Silk getting first blood. Already a double kill coming on the side of York. Frizzy taking out LD. Silk's taking out Frizzy. Already the life economy is going within York's favor rather than Conestoga's, 29 to 26.
And it looks like Conestoga is going to be using a bait and push tactic, seeing if they can see if they can just leave a little bit of a fake play, faking that they're going to A, but instead their main aim is B, and it looks that so, as Conestoga is really good at holding a corner and holding a site. We're going to see J-Ray already spawning out. LD Slicks does fall to it, and sorry, Frizzle does that, but a double if you're your own team, if you count it, onto Op, and that's not what you want as well, especially when you try to hold this point. But it doesn't matter because they claimed it instead, and that's going to put them in a very good position to win this match.
And it's true, despite Palpatine striking again, it's already seeing that Conestoga is bringing it back. Because here's the thing, the reason why both teams are going for B first, B is the easier position to claim because A is the harder one to defend. If you just focus on A, it's the harder one to claim, harder one to defend, and the harder one to attack because it's way too open.
Yeah, it does leave room for opportunities, especially when you have sight lines like that. Havoc and LD falling to Frizzy and J-Ray. Dreamo does get the refrag. And it's going to be them struggling to get this point immediately. They just have it in control, and now it's just a time of how many lives they can expend to push this site. Now claiming the first point, they just have it ready and available for themselves. And it does seem that they are struggling to get these rotates online. They do know they have the advantageous position from B, but it seems like York is able to secure and make it look like A is actually the one easily to defend.
And the thing is, they're making it easy to defend because Conestoga is scattered, and you have 2 people on the point, and you have 2 people that are pushing Conestoga constantly, not letting them gain any ground to make a defensive assault. Like Silks manages to bring him out, but then Ott was there ready to take the pot shot. Shaco takes an LD. Havoc takes out Shaco. Op takes out Dreamo. They are securing this point, and it's just on lockdown, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, 9 lives remaining as well. 16 seconds on the board, and Havoc and LD just make it oh so lower and lower. Being able to spot out these players is giving them a huge advantage, and just have almost like a strike team saying, "HQ, where are these players? I'll go capture them ourselves." And it's gonna be York winning that second match with a time limit not going in the favor of the Condors.
Nope. And now it is match point with York University on advantage. If York wins this, they take game 2.
Very, very well done match point. And it's going to be interesting on how Condors adapt. As I said before, they are very, very struggling on taking these points. They know how to lock down, they know how to capture, they don't know how to shut down these players, but it seems like they don't know how to take advantage on the recon. Maybe they got to find some way that they can take these lanes without exposing themselves too much, or not have to give so much to even get any sort of intel on where these players are. And it does seem like it's working a little bit in their favor with Opt getting Dreamo and J-Ray onto Slicks. It's going to be York having a little bit more of a point advantage on B.
And it does seem like that. There's already some control going in the favor of York on B point. Dreamo, watching that road like a hawk, only manages to chip away at health, not actually managing to get a kill. That's going to put Dreamo in a very risky position. Unfortunately, heavily wounded, still not enough to get a kill. Havoc is securing the point. Frizzy goes to try and save his teammate. Silks takes out Dreamo, and they are now progressing on both points. Shaco takes out Havoc. 2 members go in. Shaco takes out Silks, and Op takes out Shaco. Still, York holding control point A and just making sure that the time just goes and the tickets are bleeding out. LD takes out J-Ray. Frizzy takes out Havoc. Small gunfight going between the 2 right now.
And it seems like that's put enough distraction for the side of Condors, as they're not going for a full frontal on B point. But it might put them in a little bit of a disadvantage, as they do seem to be taking this point really, really well. Condor is struggling to see if they can find an angle. It looks like they are a huge death ball with all corners covered, and it's going to be the capture of B going to the side of York. And that's going to leave them sitting pretty, as 2 out of 3 ticks are on A. And now it's going to be Condor, see if they can catch these players on the rotate. And it's going to not looking so strongly to find these players on where they're coming from and how to deal with them.
It's definitely not. And now with the roads not being covered, York already has advantage of covering that road. Op just needs to watch that, taking those shots. That defense will give the rest of his team time to actually push that point. If he can keep that overwatch, he'll be able to secure a good point. But J-Ray and Dreamo dropping 3 of them, with Dreamo getting a nice solid double kill.
But it looks like the absolutely high ground that LD did have was proving a difficulty, but Dreamo shuts that down. Havoc though shuts down Dreamo in response, and it seems like both players do have each lane to themselves. But they're now they're wondering where these players are right now, thinking that they're coming from A, and it looks like that's going to be the case. J-Ray does fall down to Op, not knowing that he is going to be jumping like a on this play.
That the bunny hop strategy really goes well, but Frizzy Dreamo getting another double kill, but does get taken out by Op. Shaco manages to avenge Dreamo by taking out Op. It is now 7-11 to live. 7 for York, 11 for Conestoga.
And it looks like they completely abandoned the strategy that York did have and not allowing any sort of room to even touch A. We're going to meet you on the midfield. We're going to be holding these lanes in these buildings, not giving you any sort of cover and putting you in the comfortable situation. And that's Condor's Gold taking the win. Very, very good work to Condors. Seemed like they really adapted and said, oh, if we can't win the lanes, we're just going to be in here. We're going to be in places that you cannot see and force you to take the fight.
They basically decided, instead of defending the overall perimeter of the objective, they basically said, let's defend the lanes leading to said objective.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting on how this round actually goes, because they're going to put them on, we're not going to be going for B. We're actually going for A. We're going to be setting up just primarily exactly like we did before. And trophy system assisting them oh so well. Shaco expecting someone to be on the cross, but Frizzy covers both teammates there. And it looks like they're going to be taking a point out, a page out of the point of York. Covering both angles, seeing both lanes, trying to see where they're coming from. Does almost win the fight, but it looks like they are able to use the cover a little bit better than Condors did. But it cost them the whole point.
Yeah, it did. And Conestoga securing, and now they only just need to worry about B. So now this, Dreamo getting a nice Semtex on the Havoc. Frizzy taking out himself, Op taking out Dreamo. B point is just going to become a bloodbath. Whoever can secure this roadway will secure this game.
Yeah, and it looked like they are immediately set up on this point. They'll have the trade, though, coming out, but it does seem they have the better angles. Frizzy trying to take it on the flank, but J-Ray kicks it up for him. Slick's on the high ground, nickname Anakin, trying to see if he can shut down this player. Almost gets a player with a Renetti. Shaco claiming Slicks and shutting him down, and it's going to be dumb. 2 ticks already on B site, and it looks like they are taking a page off of York, not allowing for any sort of room on the corners that they are winning. They're making these players take the fight. They're making these players swing the corners and take advantage that they're already set up.
Yeah, and now with those final ticks, Conestoga takes both points, tying it up. It all comes down to this final match to see who takes game 3, and is just 1 game away from taking this home.
Very, and well placed shots as well. These players are all mechanically gifted in terms of where they need to go and how to do it individually. If you notice, Frizzy is going on a lot of these 1v1s and ends up to 2v1s to 3v1s almost. Same thing for the side of Havoc, taking advantage that these players are so focused on these lanes, not allowing for any sort of room on their behind, and it gets them the gold. York I want to see York to see if they can do that same thing where they had a strike team going out instead, taking players 2v1, not allowing for any sort of outman situation. And it looks like the quick rotate coming from the side of the Condors does put them in an advantageous position, but Havoc claiming the head very, very well, almost a second, and gets the third, but LD is right there to capture these low players with the Renetti of his own, and that's going to put them very, very well. But once again, to be able to push on the site costs them the whole point. Ooh.
Oh my gosh!
Nice nade.
Wow, okay.
Ash.
I see you, J-Ray. I see you.
Atta boy. Leo D does take it, and Havoc does claim 1 as well. Absolutely amazing gameplay from the side of Condors. Once again, taking and letting the fights go to them.
And usually that's how it plays out, but York is now, like, still, it's a really good advantageous point, but it's don't matter to J-Ray. J-Ray will find a way to solve that problem instantly. Havoc with the nice grenades. Does he manage to get it? Nope. Blast the Renetti, gets a nice double kill, but does get followed up by J-Ray. It is a 22-22 on the life economy, with York just maintained to try and hold this first point. Some text on the ATM does not kill J-Ray, unfortunately, but Opt and Havoc do find solutions.
Absolutely amazing plays from the side of York, taking the angles instead of their own. They do take the fights and do feel pressure, but just winning the gunfights themselves is just letting them be able to take the pressure and put it on Condors instead, not allowing for any sort of eye. And it looks like their lives are dwindling a little bit more. The Condors don't have a swift retake. Taking the 1v1, Dreamo does win that. Havoc takes down Shark while they takes down J-Ray, being able to swiftly case this, but it's going to be the long range play coming from Opt. Oh, OTP, seeing what, or OPT. Oh, it's a tongue twister.
It can be sometimes, but sometimes those tongue twisters do happen. The clock is ticking down. Conestoga is running out of time and out of lives. And Argulas, Palpatine once again striking. Frizzy blowing up Dreamo. Still takes out Frizzy. Shaco takes out Hawk.
Yeah, these team kills are killing the commitment that Condors are trying to give to this team. And it seems like York are just going for a hit and run tactic, just pushing up into a corner a little bit, then just staying there. Hit up a little bit corner, stay there once again. Strike, those go out, but not in time. And York takes map 3.
And now York University is just one game away from moving up in this tournament. But still, good plays from Condors. I'm just going to say right now, here's my theory. I think Palpatine did some Sith magic and kind of rigged it against Condors, so Condors don't feel bad about this loss. I blame Palpatine, personally. This was Palpatine's fault.
It feels like those team kills are really hurting the mental of Condor, specifically not knowing, not expecting these plays. Obviously, you're not expecting an explosive behind you from your own teammate. Maybe it's a slight difference in call out, maybe it's a slight difference on what is going to happen, but we need to really see how they do their homework, because now York is leading 2-1. And they are just one map away from taking this best of 5.
And my question for you is, aside from the team kill mental, how do you think Condor in this next game, since we're heading to Rio, how is this going to play out? How is Condor going to try and face York?
I feel like, and hot take, I feel like their adaptability is going to go really well. Solely because they had so many examples of specifically what York was doing in terms of, okay, we know that they love having 2-2. They love being able to take us individually, 2v1 after 2v1. If we saw on the second point, York was holding point A there. 2 people just watching lanes. They're just playing Overwatch. Completely just playing the Overwatch HQ. And that gave them so much information on attacking. Okay, hey, player is here. Attack them. They would kill the one, then kill the other. If they use that hit and run tactic, York wins this. But if Condors are able to adapt, push as a whole unit, but we never know. I very see that Condors is going to be pushing as a unit, and seeing what sort of adaptability they will be able to pull off, and we'll hopefully see this.
And I fully agree with you, and I can't wait to see, because it all comes down to this: if York wins this hard point, they move up. If Condors wins this, we're going into a finals.
Very well so. And it's going to be very close to the center and very close quarters, as usually it's 3 subs and an AR on this map, and we're going to be seeing them picking up both kills immediately. Second Havoc going to be able to pick up Dun. Shaco's does get the refrag, but it is hard point. You don't need to have everybody on the point like you do in Control. Those get double headshots from Opt and Slip, able to claim them very well. Point is contested, but not for long. Gets their points on the board, and it's going to be York University almost a king of the hill situation. And like I said before, now they're going a full frontal. But it seems like Havoc are expecting to rotate oh too well and taking this entire team's frontal defense for his own.
Yeah, and especially like Opt watching that corner like a little pixel Pete. Just gonna try and get the little pixel on any of them, but Frizzy was like, nope, not gonna happen, and just drops him. It is now on to the most advantageous point. Conestoga already on the second point and gaining points, but York is already up by 35.
Very, very well done. Not just leaving the point from behind. Knowing where they spawns is. Definitely York seems to know this map a lot better than they do on the others. Shaco and Dreamo do pick up one, and they're holding this point very, very well. Knowing where the rotates are coming and knowing where these players are spawning, they only have 2 lanes to watch, and that's all. Usually it's 3 subs and an AR.
Again.
Ooh. That, once again, that maybe an overcall. They really got to figure that out because that cost them the point immediately. And 22 seconds left, it's going to put them way past, or already past the lead.
Yeah, with 4, we might even see around, I'm going to guess, well, with 10 seconds left, they're going to hit at least 57, 59 points, maybe 60.
Yeah, it's gonna put them in a very comfortable position like it did during the first point. They are already just leaving it by, claiming the 3rd point, and that's gonna put them very well. But we're gonna see Havoc coming on the flank. Does almost pick up one. Havoc picks up one. Slicks does pick up the other as well. Dreamo did get LD, but he gets shut down by Havoc as well. And J-Ray continuing to see if he can keep his team immensely in the zone. The point is contested, but not if Op and Havoc have something to say. And that's their corner, so watch very well. J-Ray just waiting for the call out for the push. See where these players are coming from. LT does take Frizzy. And it's gonna be dumb holding these lanes very well.
They are, but Shaco and some other members, but Havoc manages to meet them head on and take them down. Already on a 5 kill streak. We might see, oh, he's almost near getting a cruise missile, so that cruise missile might turn the tide if we see one pop in. But Dreamo takes out Slick. Havoc on the flank, unfortunately does not manage to get the kill. And this, Conestoga is now on the hard point, but it's 101 to 50.
Yeah, very well done inside of York. Able to completely cover their corners and win their gunfights. They were utilizing the middle barricade very well. Just taking the fights, being patient, not allowing any sort of aura extending from the side. And we're going to see Conestoga doing somewhat the same. Taking the fight instead of just waiting, letting the aggression be immediately denied, not letting York any sort of room to play with at all. And that's exactly why Shaker was able to take down Slicks on that rotate and Frizzy as well on the other side.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with how Conestoga is holding this point, but York already on the far end. I think they're just going to let Conestoga just maintain that point and just be prepped and ready to take the next one, which is going to be popping up soon.
Yeah, map knowledge in hand, already know exactly where it's going to be before the icon even pops out. And it's going to be dumb. Trophy system is right there in the corner. It does get destroyed and it's going to leave dumb. But that pillar is going to prove very difficult for J-Ray to even push. Gets taken out from the underside of that bus. Legs are broken. And it's going to be them struggling to find somewhat on these stairways to push on them. An early advantage position gives them the very hefty lead. And it's given them 35 seconds to play with on this point.
Yeah, and especially with Opt holding this top point. Havoc holding these center stairs. Exchange of fire going on. Havoc and Silks and Opt getting all their kills. I was just going to pop over before to add on. York did a very smart play taking this point when they did, because they knew Conestoga did not have enough time on the previous point to tie with them. So they're like, let's just leave it. We'll just gain points on the next one fully.
Yeah,
and it worked in their favor.
And it worked very well in their favor. 100 points off from taping the final map of the series, possibly the final map. It does put Condors in a very tough position and pressured. It does seem like this pressure is going on to them. They are missing their shots just a little bit, but if you go 2v1 just like that, you'll be winning it more than them. And it's going to be them putting nicely on this lead, expecting someone to come up. It doesn't matter if Semtex are on either side. And like I said, York was doing before, using that middle platform very well. And it's going to be for the side of J-Ray, taking down 2 with Frizzy a third, but Slicks does get the double kill. Frizzy wins that, though. And it's going to put
And
him sitting
Conestoga is
pretty on
holding
this
this
point.
midpoint impressively.
Yeah. Very,
I
very well
like
done.
what Conestoga is doing here.
And now it's only 20 points away from them taking the lead, and with them specifically holding this ground very, very well. But it's going to be the first kill onto them, and almost a pop shot from Slicks as well. And now it's going to be no one on that point for the last couple seconds already, moving for the next one. And Conestoga winning their gunfights, exactly. And it just seems that they are able to take this, able to take these corners a little bit early, and it's putting them in a very, very hefty position to win them, and gives them the advantage of where these players are coming from.
It really is, because now Conestoga is just a few points away from tying it to York. 150, 151, 152. It is now tied, and Conestoga is winning just by a point, but we can see Conestoga is defending this point heavily.
And like I said before, they are very, very good as a turtle team, just sitting there, being able to be quiet and only take the peaks as they need to. One audible cue or one call out gives them the necessary information they need to make a play.
And it is very true. Like, but you got Havoc here going on the flank, but is Frizzy? Yeah, Frizzy does get the exchange and takes out Opt. LD taking the center, Havoc moving around. LD manages to get a kill. The hard point is just a trophy system blasting your Semtex right back into your face. But York has the point yet again and is now slowly increasing their point gap.
And it's going to be an early point capture from York, but not if the Condors swoop in and take it for themselves first. And we're going to be able to see Frizzy takes one, but Havoc does take the double, and the triple onto the head of Shaco. Amazingly done, and winning those gunfights and knowing the lanes that he knows, the map knowledge once again coming in clutch for York, keeping them in the game. They do have point advantage, and they are oh so close. 10 points remaining to taking the lead, and it looks like Dreamo does take Havoc, but will they be able to take the point? And they do. Does win both gunfights on that lane, and it looks like that flank did pay off from themselves as they gets a couple points, push them over, almost over 200. There it is. And now only 50 points remaining. York do have to find the opportunity to win these gunfights immensely.
Maybe York is trying to think Palpatine's going to intervene again, but I think York has learned, Conestoga has learned their lesson to prevent Palpatines from happening again. And we might see this going into a final fight. They are now only 30 points away, and that clock is ticking, and the points are coming their way. York does have it, but it's 183 to 222.
222 remaining, and we're going to be seeing York finally taking the point. Just waiting patiently, a little bit more patient than they were before. They were being a little bit too aggressive. J-Ray does come from the side, take point for himself as well. No call out there for his team to assist them, and it's going to put them almost 20 points now away from winning this map. Leaving the last couple seconds, every point matters on this, and that's why they're already setting up for the next one. See if they can get a hefty lead. Shaiko does win the fight with Dreamo by his side, but it's going to be Havoc trying to see if he can get one, and he gets 2. Slicks on the third.
Right, now they're holding it. It is 195, 196, 97, 98, 99, 200. It's now only 38 points away and decreasing to just tie it. York has an opportunity that if they can hold this point they might tie this.
Yeah, definitely, and they're winning their gunfights, playing them and baiting them to the top, to the lower floor, while Havoc just has while LD has a field day on the top, and exactly so he takes down Frizzy, while up from the bottom takes out Jerry and Dreamo, and this is exactly what Conestoga was doing before, what York was doing before, and why they put them in an advantage. They were able to secure the top and the high ground, giving callouts and sending 2 people for a strike team. Just taking the intel and be able to utilize it. And Slicks and Op takes out Dre and Dreamo, and it's going to put them 1 point advantage, and now it's just this lost hard point in the middle.
York is 10 points away from taking this game home. They are now It's now contested. It's now 239. Side Coaster is 240. It's going in Conestoga there now. It is contested. This is getting close.
Ooh, that early contested proved really beneficial for them because that stopped them in the tracks. But he does push to make the early push, and now it's 3 points remaining away. Almost was a gunfight, but Renetti, not enough to do it.
We are going
close.
into a Game 5 finals, ladies and gentlemen.
Very well done.
247 to 250, I believe, was that?
Yeah,
That was a very close one.
Very, very well done. Conestoga did a very, very good job just taking these fights. York were just struggling to find the intel of where these players were coming from. We did see them on the top point there, waiting and just having 2 players on the top, 1 person on the middle pillar on the bottom, and just looking to see where these players that against the other 2 teammates there. But it seems like it struggled on to put these players in position to give them an advantage position. And this game's going a mile.
Wrong. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. It was York that beat Conestoga prior to, right? Or was it Conestoga that beat York?
It was York that beat Conestoga.
So now we're seeing the underdogs bringing it back.
Yeah, they're
so now
adapting.
This final game is going to decide: is it going to be a two for York against Conestoga, or are we going to see Conestoga, the underdogs, take it home tonight?
Yeah, it's if it goes the mile, and York did 2-0 actually last time they played. They did 2-0 Conestoga, so definitely some coaching and some scripting did go in the background of Conestoga, almost as if the rematch was to be expected. Very, very well done. Very quick adaptations.
And despite the Conestoga Palpatines, like they're just holding their own still.
And we're going to map 5 on Rio on Search and Destroy. A very slower paced game mode. So as we head into the game here, we're going to be seeing these players and see what they're actually going to be doing and how they're going to be adapting, because they can't just hold a point and just stay there forever, because they have a limited time as your attacking team.
And only 1 life. So now we're going to see. We have York breaking off. We have 2 pushing A, 1 at the top north. Getting some heavy exchanges of fire, getting some wounds in, but not enough to get kills. Does the smart move to break off. You don't want to risk that life. Havoc is keeping an eye on A, but he does not have the bomb. However, the bomb team, everyone is moving in. We got the full strike team moving in, planting at the target. Is Conestoga going to try and utilize this?
Well done by York, using their utility to pressure off Condors, not having to take any sort of gunfights, just pushing them off from those lanes with those Semtexes. I did see the one on the top. Havoc takes the first blood, while J-Ray Shrako and J-Ray with the second do clean up, not expecting the high ground push, and it's going to be the final kill. And what a retake from Condors. Just waiting patiently, it seemed. They expected the Semtech push, expecting that, oh, okay, you're going to pressure us with a bunch of nades. That's fine. We'll take a step back. We'll just come swoop you around.
But we'll just let you utilize and waste all of your lethals and your tacticals, and then just go from there.
It didn't seem they have a lot to retaliate to see where these players were coming from. And as we switch sides, we're going to be seeing them being the attackers themselves first. So let's see what actual positions they're going to be taking Forest first in the side of A, because it looks like that's going to be the favorable point to be taken for themselves. Very, very good high positions, and already Opt expecting a drop from Frizzy and takes 1 to Dreamo. Only half a meg is what you need, as 15 bullets took both players down, and it's a quick wipe from the side of York, knowing where these players are coming from immediately.
And see, different from Invasion, Rio isn't a map where there's really a role bias. Attackers and defenders, this is a very equal map for Rio, at least in my personal opinion. So it doesn't matter what side you start on first, the game can go either way. It's a matter of map knowledge and versatility.
Yeah, And it does seem New York do have the advantage on that, knowing this map a little bit more as proven on Hardpoint. Condors did take that, but only barely with a 47 out of 50. And it seems like this side of Rio, it looks like it gave them the warm-up they needed to be taking these points. Jerry does make the call out that they are rotating to see if they can go for an A push. And it looks like Frizzy does respond, but not with Op falling down onto Dreamo instead, as they do take a point because he only had 1 man against 3. As they do make the rotate onto the site, we're going to be seeing Opt taking somewhat of a flank option, or just waiting for someone to push behind them as well. Here's the back, and oh, what a position to be in. Does not expect from behind. Havoc does take down Shaco.
Time camping is frowned upon, but in an angle like that, it's the most advantageous point on Rio, especially if you want to cover a point. And then Opt lighting up from the back, York University taking another win.
Yeah, though that flank was just waiting and just waiting there patiently, seeing where he was coming from, and proved very, very well for Opt to be in that position. Very, really well done. And that's the map knowledge coming in once again. York do seem that they know this map a little bit better when it comes to attacking or defending. It looks like Condor's got to pick up in terms of knowing where these players are going to be holding, and now they're going to be attacking once again, hoping to see that they don't fall down to the same tricks that Op pulled in that garage space.
Well, here we go. Some brief exchange of fire. Havoc getting first blood. Havoc getting Dreamo, dropping both Frizzy and Dreamo. Silks taking out Shaco. J-Ray takes out Havoc. Just light him up. J-Ray takes out Silks alone on his own. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to clutch. York University takes round 3.
Very well. And that was just
3-1.
That was just a firefight in mid. Very, very utilizing that box cover very, very well. Not allowing any sort of room at all, and that's the submachine gun. This is a submachine gun map most of the time with an AR just to find some intel, but it seemed like it proved it so. And a couple shots to the head will give them 3-1 in the lead, and now they're going to be attacking once again. Is it going to be a firefight in the middle? Can they win their gunfights? We don't know.
We're going to see here with a flashbang going on both sides. Of injury going in, not enough to get a kill. Shaco holding the angle, LD, and another, I believe, number 4 that's Opt. Making sure and watching A with also Dreamo on A. We might see a brief exchange of long-range fire here. We'll see if it goes anywhere. Maybe they'll establish maybe a relationship might be established with bullets to a person. Silks manages to establish a long-distance relationship, but not enough to actually commit to it with a kill. Shaco is the one who manages to get first blood, though.
Oh, you tease me, Dragon. What a reference. But as we have here, Op just playing very, very well on this position, just biting and just supporting to his team as much, giving the call-outs necessary, saying, hey, I got 2 people on this side. You can push B immediately if you need. But it doesn't seem like the pants going down. They want to see if they can clear these players out, knowing that there has been 2 players on these stairs this whole time. And getting impatient cost them a little bit with 3 players down, and the 4th one coming from behind was Opt, sitting on A. And it seems like impatient got the best of them, just waiting for these players on stairs to push. It didn't seem so.
It worked, and then J-Ray managed to find Silks and follow through on that flank. But it's still anyone's game. York is still up. They have a chance to close this out, but we can't count Conestoga out yet. It is 2-3, and Conestoga does manage to hold their own, especially on those long-range exchanges of fire. Both sides can make their hits. Sometimes just grazing and just wounding another player is enough to throw them off their strategy, because now they need to heal.
Yeah, just like an ex-girlfriend, those Semtexes will never go away from your side. They need to find some way to not be pressured at all. Are looking for a B push. Frizzy gets the call out and gets the reclaim and refrag onto Slicks. Havoc does not go down without a fight as well onto that side. Gets a second. Frizzy, now it's a 2v2 situation. Still looking for B, but just a firefight inside there. Not allowing for any sort of way to claim that point.
Very intense fight. Especially, look at this kill cam here. Let's go from Dreamo here. Go drop, 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 and then Dreamo closing it out. The last man standing in a room full of bodies.
Absolutely insanity coming from the side of the Condors, making it 3-3. Definitely proving very, very, very well on adaptability, and that's exactly what I was expecting from these birds, knowing where these players were coming from and calling out well. They just are playing it patiently, waiting for the fight to be taken, just like they did on Control a couple maps ago. And it says that they're going for the same suit just now. 8 and 5, aka Sharko and Frizzy, just sitting on the stairs there, but it looks like they are expecting the A push a little bit more.
They might be. Dreamo throwing out a Semtex, trying to see if it will land something. Silks, if he just moves, he'll find a Conestoga player, J-Ray, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on. York does manage to plant it onto B, so now it's just going to be a firefight for the central location. But Shaco gets a drop onto LD. J-Ray gets a drop on a Hawk, or Havoc. J-Ray gets a drop onto Op. The entire team is wiped. They can now defuse the bomb. That was a good, very tactical assault from Conestoga.
Yeah, playing it patient, waiting for the call out to be like, hey, they're pushing, go now. Allowing themselves to just take the gunfights, not to take the gunfights and wait for them to just push on the side. It seems like if York wants to win these rounds, they have to play a little bit more patient and maybe out-patient Condors themselves, as now they're the ones attacking.
And thing is, sometimes out-patienting your opponent can come in handy because there's always a strategy of if you can hold out and wait for your opponent to make a very rash mistake, you can utilize that because you waited. You're waiting for your opponent to make a mistake.
It seems like it could be very, very advantageous on where they need to go, and it's just going to be two players on either side of the boxes. They don't know where each other are, playing ring around Rosie's, but the winner is going to be almost off.
Music.
Oh, almost ops gets them there, but LD finishes off, and that's going to be them playing it patient actually a little bit. Now taking a page out of Condor's book, waiting for the pushes to go there, and you just see Frizzy, going and taking down LD. That's going to be the first blood for the side of Condors, because it's only him left. Doesn't know, or actually does know, that Slicks is there and gets the head very, very well. But will he be expecting the side? Does get the third, and now it's a 1v1 situation. He has to be the one to defend themselves, but not if you're attacking, because he has 20 seconds remaining. All Sops has to do is just play it patiently. Gets Renetti, finishes off. That's York.
That was a very close clutch for the side of Condors, but now York as yet has pushed it, and it's once again tied 4-4. And it was a pretty good blast, especially in the air, utilizing Freddy's little ski. Just pull, bang!
Very, very well done for the side of York. Sorry, it's Conestoga. Very, very well done from Frizzy. Just playing it patient, knowing where these players are, and maybe some call-outs from the teammates as well, saying, hey, they like to play here. You got to watch these angles, ready for them, and catching LTD on the blind side too.
Oh, yeah. He got all three of them on the blind side, but then Opt was just able to turn it around. Smoke's going out on the side of that road is a very smart play. Opt getting first blood onto Frizzy, making sure that Frizzy can't do any of those legendary clutches again, or potential clutches. Dreamo dropping a trophy system, holding that angle, does get wounded and grazed. And LD tries to push him, but just does not turn out the way LD wanted it to go.
Does find the head. It's going to be very, very well done for the side of York, just pressuring and pushing these players with their utility, to making them uncomfortable to take these fights. But not if you're J-Ray taking on Op. Havoc does get the refrag. Slick does not expect Sharko coming very, very close in that corner. And now it's a 1v1 once again. Slicks versus Sharko. The side of that, he has time now because the bomb is planted. Here's the bomb called. Slicks taking a little bit too much time. Nope. Very, very well done. Playing it patiently.
I'm gonna say they were cutting it very close there. That was very close.
Yeah,
But
they were
like an
cutting it.
eviction notice, they shut him down.
Yeah, cutting it very, very close for the side of York, expecting more aggression from Condor. But no, just decided to play safe, stun it, keep it there, and they didn't really have another option. They only had 20 seconds left to cancel that defuse, and now it's going to be very, very dangerous for Condors. A match point and series point, as they have to now
It is
win 2
serious
rounds in a
point
row
now.
if they have to win this side, or this game 1.
And we'll see Frizzy in a good opportunity. Might be able to get score
Ooh.
kills. Yeah, he scores 2. Taking out Havoc and LD. Already in the back line. Frizzy's just
Frizzy.
holding there. Shaco drops and plants on B. Manages to get the 3rd. Decides
Frizzy.
to just light them up on his corpse for some reason. Opt takes out Shaco. It's all down to Opt.
Frizzy just going off, not allowing for any side op, does shut him down finally, but it just ignoring the playbook that they hadn't set, going advantagely aggressive, and now it's just Condors taking round 10. And now it's map point,
all
match
comes
point,
down
series
to
point.
this.
It's everything. It's the point of all points.
So, we
Final
have a
round.
situation. We have the underdog Conestoga Condor, and we have York U.
York
5-5, neck and neck.
York U is not expecting these mix-ups that Condors is providing. York is doing a very, very well job taking their map knowledge to the fullest and taking advantage on Condors, not expecting where they're coming from. But the adaptation that Condor is pulling this series is different, and it's going to be a full frontal assault. Doesn't matter where they're coming from. Havoc does take the first map, does take the first blood. Jerry does take the second. It's going to be Havoc taking 2, and that's already 2 players down for the side of Condors. And we're going to see them going for a complete switch up, trying to cover B, now knowing that there's more players there than anything. Callouts are made. Shaco is there waiting for them, but they do not have the security to push on to this point.
Yeah, now we're just going to see, even though it is player advantage for, not anymore, Frizzy manages to drop 6 shots. It's now all down to Shaco. It is a 1-on-2 situation.
They go for the rotate, try to go for a little bit more of a safe place than anything. We're going to be seeing Shaco coming from behind. Plant goes down. Can he catch it? He does deny the plan, and that's immediately a nice rotate from the side, and it's a 1v1 situation. 30 seconds left remaining. Shaco's just waiting for them, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Condor's Gold wins this series. York versus Condor. What a series.
That is a match and a half. The underdogs take it. I am absolutely stunned. And that final kill, Shaco taking the game-winning kill and the series-winning kill. That's it. Conestoga Condors takes the victory.
Very,
Very
very well
impressed.
done. Very, very well done from both sides. Condors adapting, York adapting, knowing where they're coming from, knowing where they're pushing. Very, very well done from both sides. We know exactly how it's going to be. And don't go anywhere, because we're just going to take a small break until we continue on. So we'll be right back in just a moment.
When I first heard about the TELUS esports series, I was like, there's no way.
I was absolutely stoked. You don't really hear about esports at all in Canada, let alone from a big company like TELUS.
Canada does have a scene, and we do have people who are thriving towards getting us into that bigger picture.
2 versus 1, and it should be their game. The Bronze Bonobos from second, now finally find first.
Simply put, the TELUS esports series is esports for everyone. It's our take at what we think the esports industry should look like and where we think it should go. It's way more fun to compete for something when there's something on the line. And the TELUS esports series gives players of all skill levels opportunities to experience that. We really want to make the gaming experience more fun for everyone, and we want to help the gaming industry evolve and grow the way that it should. And I think the time is right for it.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we have the side of. Oh, sorry, a little bit of a tongue twister there. But as we have, due to technical difficulties, we are unfortunately not going to be able to do the second semis stream. But don't worry, because a possibility of when the finals will be taking place could be tomorrow, could be today. We are just waiting to see that. So we will be updating you on the actual Discord channel. So make sure to join our Discords. Make sure to see if we can find anything on the links provided on the Twitch channel. And definitely ensure that you are anticipating. Right now, Brock and Carlton, right now, Brock and Conestoga are going head to head, or will be going head to head soon. To see who wins and makes it to the finals to go against St. Clair. St. Clair did win against Carlton U, so they are be going to the finals. So we're going to be waiting who actually goes up against them. But for the time being, we'll be signing off, and we hope that you enjoyed everything on today. I've been Ninja, this has been Dragon, and not to forget a quick shout out to our sponsors at TELUS. Don't forget, it is the best place for Canadian gamers to improve their skills, free coaching from the pros, and win thousands of dollars in prizes. Whether you are a casual gamer to learn or a pro looking to win, there's always a place at TELUS Arena. So make sure you join for monthly events across a variety of gamings, or there's always something that you can join. So make sure you join the actual TELUS Discord provided in the chat. Go head on there, have some fun. But that's going to be it from us. I've been Ninja, this has been Dragon, and thank you for watching.